Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is a meeting that we've had some delays for the last couple of weeks, so we are very lucky to have Dr. Rania with us today. She is giving us a talk titled "The Significance of Studying Arabic Dialects Within Modern Linguistics," and our moderator is Dr. MARWAN JARRAH from the University of Jordan. I won't take any more time. Dr. Marwan, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Dina, for this invitation. And I would like also to thank Professor RANIA again for her acceptance of our invitation to deliver a talk. Actually, I have known Professor Agarbeh since 10 years. And first time I have read your thesis on finiteness, and it was so amazing thesis. I learned a lot from it actually, and it would be so rich source actually for those who work on syntax semantics interface. So I have the pleasure actually to introduce you, Professor Rania Agarbeh. You are Professor, Dr. Rania. She's a professor of theoretical linguistics at Mota University. She has received her PhD. She received her PhD from Kansas University in 2011. And her thesis was amazing actually, and it should be read by all those who are interested in linguistics about finiteness in Jordan Arabic. Not only about finiteness, about the syllable structure, about the sentence structure and all of this sense and the interaction between tense and other grammatical modalities. So today's talk is about the significance of studying Arabic vernaculars within the modern linguistic theory. So, Dr. Rania, the floor is yours, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. MARWAN JARRAH, for this nice introduction of me. I'm really honored to be introduced by an exceptional researcher and scholar like you. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum jami'an. I'd like to thank Professor Jihad Hamdan for inviting me to deliver a talk at this forum, and I'd like to thank him for all his efforts in holding such meetings and in his work in linguistics about Arabic in general. I'd also like to thank Dr. Dina Salman for all her efforts in organizing the meeting. I'd like to extend my gratitude and appreciation to all our audience and esteemed members of Apatow for your interest. I hope that you'll find my talk insightful and interesting. I'll now start by sharing my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, is it fine?
Yes, it's good.
Yes, thank you. So I'm gonna talk about the significance of studying Arabic dialects within modern linguistics. I'm gonna highlight the attitudes towards studying Arabic dialects in the Arab world and pinpoint the main concerns of studying Arabic dialects by classical Arab grammarians and contemporary researchers in the Arab world. I'll then address how unjustified the reasons advanced against studying dialects are. After all, I'm gonna switch gears and talk about studying Arabic dialects within modern linguistics, the gains, the problems, and some suggestions for future research endeavors. The mainstream attitude towards studying Arabic dialects by scholars of Arabic linguistics and academies of the Arabic language in the Arab world has been negative, on the assumption that Arabic dialects are corrupted, and so they are not worthy of being investigated compared to the ideal, perfect al-Fusha, the language of the Holy Quran, which is the best language in according to what they say. They consider it the best language in the whole world. Nothing is compared to it, and no other language has what al-Fusha has in terms of its vocabulary, in terms of its expressive power, structure, and the like. They believe that it is the only variety of Arabic that deserves studying, and they considered what traditional Arab linguists and grammarians did is unprecedented. Here are some quotes that unravel this negative attitude. The first one is from Alwer and Horst in 2019, in which they said that spoken dialects are considered by many not to be legitimate forms of language, and thus not worthy of being taught, learned, or examined scientifically. I have other quotes from a meeting at the Academy of Arabic Language. Arabic language concerning studying Arabic dialects, and these quotes appear in Al-Hamzawi 2000, in which he said that, I can't see this well, so. أوكي. تقر أن العامية لن تدرس لذاتها ولحد ذاتها مهما كانت المحاولات الرامية إلى ذلك. Another quote: تعتبر العامية خطراً على الفصحى وبالتالي على القرآن الكريم والدين والوحدة العربية المنشودة وما وراء ذلك من مواقف تصل إلى حد الاتهام بالكفر والخيانة والمؤامرة. These are conclusions that appeared in a meeting at the Academy of Arabic Language. And from the words, you can see that now who study modern Arabic dialects are sometimes accused of betrayal. Now, in spite of the negative attitudes towards studying modern Arabic dialects, classical Arabic grammarians since Sibawayh and even before, they studied the variation in old Arabic varieties, and most of their investigation focused on the varieties of Al-Fusha. And they wrote books like ما ورد في القرآن من لغات العرب وكتاب اللغات في القرآن الكريم. And nowadays, we still have contemporary linguists who still investigate Arabic dialects, but also within the Arab world. But the goals underlying this investigation are diachronic, to show how close or deviant a dialect is from Al-Fusha, the standard Arabic, and to track the historical development of Arabic. They believe that modern linguistics can't add anything of a great value to the precious heritage written about Al-Fusha. Now, on the contrary, I believe that modern Arabic dialects constitute a precious, fruitful source whose investigation within modern linguistics is definitely insightful and promising. Furthermore, I contend that standard Arabic, in particular modern standard Arabic, because it is different from classical Arabic or Al-Fusha, which has been investigated by traditional Arab linguists, has to be included as one of the Arabic dialects or varieties, not in a position with them. So they are not in conflict. All are different varieties of Arabic, whether Al-Fusha or the modern vernaculars. Due to time limitation of this meeting, I'm gonna discuss only two reasons underlying my viewpoint. The first reason why I think modern Arabic dialects, including modern standard Arabic, have to be investigated scientifically within modern linguistics has to do with the goals and nature of modern linguistics itself. Modern linguistics is concerned with describing and explaining linguistic phenomena. Modern linguistics is a natural science that perceives language as a feature of a human cognition. It starts with describing a linguistic phenomenon accurately and empirically in its natural setting, and offers theoretical explanations of how it is structured, how it's acquired, how it's processed in the mind, how it's used socially and pragmatically, and so on. So we describe in order to explain. This is exactly what we do in modern linguistics. Now, the other reason why I think modern Arabic dialects have to be studied within modern linguistics is that I think the reasons advanced against studying modern Arabic dialects among the guardians of language, as Peter Trudgell called them, are illogical. They are not justified reasons, in fact. First of all, the traditional Arab grammarians themselves apply the descriptive approach similar to what we start with in modern linguistics. They describe the grammar of the language, al-Fusha, at their time as used by its native speakers, قبائل العرب, the Arab tribes. So here, a quote from Owens, he said that Sibawayh, or Al-Kitab that's written by Sibawayh, is the only comprehensive grammar where a large body of eyewitness observations of actual linguistic usage is systematically recorded. And in fact, not only the grammar of Arabic was described, but also the sounds were described as they were actually produced by native speakers of Arabic at that time, and talk about around the 8th century. This descriptive approach is obvious in some of the influential sources of Al-Fusha, like Ma'jam al-Ayn that was written by Al-Khalil bin Ahmed Farahidi, and Al-Kitab li-Sibawayh. This is exactly what linguists within modern linguistics start with when studying modern Arabic dialects. We describe these dialects as they are naturally used by their native speakers. Second, Arabic diglossia existed in the Arabian Peninsula even before Islam. They used to distinguish spoken dialects used in daily prose from the high-level poetic language. Nonetheless, the spoken dialects were not considered corrupted, the older dialects. Now, third, the Holy Quran itself, which is one of the causes that makes the Arabs proud of Al-Fusha, because Al-Quran is revealed in this variety, has 10 authentic recitations, Al-Qira'at al-Ashr, which imply an appreciation of variation among various Arabic dialects at that time. For example, some old Arab tribes pronounce the glottal stop in the middle of the word, like the word yu'minun. Other tribes replace it with the vowel yuminun. And both ways of reading such words are involved in these some of the 10 recitations of the Holy Quran. But we don't consider the dialect that replace the glottal stop with the vowel as corrupted. And we still have this in our modern varieties, that sometimes we pronounce the glottal stop, sometimes we replace it with a vowel. 4. Al-Farahidi himself defines the dialect as اللهجة هي لغته التي جبل عليها فاعتادها ونشأ عليها. Now, according to how he defines اللهجة, now we see that the dialect is one's native language, which he acquires naturally. So, if a dialect is one's mother tongue, how come that it is corrupted and insufficient? Once it is a person's mother tongue, then it must be a complete natural linguistic system that suffices to fulfill all the communicative needs of its native speakers. This indicates that it is a language on its own that deserves what other languages deserve. I mean, in being investigated within modern linguistics, which aims at explaining how languages are acquired, processed, and the like. 5. Classical Arabic sources referred to older Arabic dialects as لغات قبائل العرب, languages of Arab tribes. These sources describe the linguistic features of these varieties without underestimating them or considering them corrupted. The description of the variations among older Arabic varieties was objective, some of these variations do still exist in modern Arabic dialects. For example, ga, the allophone ga of the phoneme qa. Yani we have now some pronounce qaf as ga, قبل, قلب, okay? And this ga was found in لغة Tamim. And we know that لغة Tamim is one of the important Old Arabic varieties. But no one considered لغة Tamim as being corrupted. So I don't see any point in appreciating older Arabic spoken dialects than underestimating modern Arabic dialects. We believe that they are all the languages of the Arabs, regardless of time or region. And any changes to them are natural, just like other living languages that affect and are affected by being in contact with other languages. To recap, modern linguistics is a science that describes some observed linguistic phenomena in a language for the sake of proposing theoretical explanations pertinent to acquisition, usage, processing, and the like. Therefore, what actually determines which language or language variety is suitable for a research is the goals of the research itself. What do I mean? For instance, if the researcher would like to elicit native speakers' intuition of some linguistic phenomena, then only Arabic dialects are appropriate because we are native speakers of our dialects, not of standard Arabic. But in syntax, for example, sometimes we'd like to study negation, for instance. Then, in this case, we prefer investigating negation in standard Arabic as well as other modern vernaculars and Arabic dialects to get the full paradigm of negation mechanisms. However, if we'd like to study case, for instance, الحالة الإعرابية, then standard Arabic is more appropriate in this case than modern Arabic dialects. Why? Because it is the variety that still maintains the overt case marking. Now, I'd like to shed some light, I'd like to shed light on some gains of studying modern Arabic dialects, some problems, and some suggestions for future research. I'm going to refer to two fields of modern linguistics that I chose what I'm interested in, mainly syntax and language processing. Then I'll conclude with some suggestions for corpus linguistics and teaching Arabic to non-native speakers. Let's start with syntax. In syntax, within generative grammar, within generative theory, we need naturally occurring data from native speakers of the language. We need positive data or observational data. Therefore, we need what? Modern Arabic dialects in our case. For example, I am a native speaker of Southern Jordanian Arabic, من جنوب الأردن, okay? So if I'm gonna rely on my intuition in investigating a linguistic phenomenon, then I'll study this phenomenon in Southern Jordanian Arabic, the language which I am a native speaker of. And I construct my examples in Southern Jordanian Arabic. Then I ask native speakers of Southern Jordanian Arabic to judge my examples because I'm targeting native speakers' intuition, and we're native speakers here in the south of Southern Jordanian Arabic. In modern syntax, we need to explain not only grammatical sentences, but also we need to explain why ungrammatical sentences are not possible. They'll talk about negative data. So here to elicit native speakers' intuition concerning constructed ungrammatical sentences, we need, we construct ungrammatical sentences according to our understanding of a theory. Then we ask native speakers of the variety that we're investigating to judge these sentences, whether they are acceptable or not, whether they are grammatical or not, according to their native intuition. So in our case as Arabs, we need native speakers of modern Arabic dialects to judge such sentences. Standard Arabic doesn't help us in this regard when it comes to native intuition. Now, for instance, in syntax, we have a construction that's called an island. In movement is not allowed from out of this construction. The general assumption is that gaps are ungrammatical inside islands, whereas resumptive pronouns الضمير العائد اللي احنا هنا بنستخدمها RPs for short are correct, are fine. This is the general assumptions. But if you delve into this issue and read about it in references, and I mention here some references that you can study or read about this particular phenomenon, about this in Arabic, you can consult these sources. You'll find that data from modern Arabic dialects like Moroccan Arabic, Lebanese Arabic, Jordanian Arabic reveal that the actual use doesn't align fully with this dichotomy. You'll find that there are cases where resumptive pronouns are not allowed inside these islands, contrary to what is believed about Semitic languages and other related issues. I'm not gonna get into details because not all everyone here is interested in syntax, but I will just bring it as an example. So when they found data, different types of data from modern Arabic dialects, this is a rich source for them to reconsider the previous theoretical analysis proposed earlier, because things are not exactly what is assumed in the theory. Syntacticians also know that we use empirical data from other sources, not only from acceptability judgment. Such data can be from child language acquisition, whether production studies or corpora. Now, the stages and errors characterizing these stages of child language acquisition of certain constructions in syntax, for example, they are also suggestive in unraveling syntactic mechanisms. Here are some examples. For instance, we have some at a certain stage of acquiring WH questions, children commit such an error, but still this is now a sign of learning and the like. So what do you think what cocky monster eats? So what is repeated? Who do you think who the cat chased? Now, such examples are really very helpful in unraveling syntactic mechanisms. So such examples are used, for instance, in syntax as evidence that WH movement involves an intermediate step, and such examples from English child corpora are used in modern syntactic theory to support the copy theory of movement. So again, this data can only be available by recording children acquiring their mother tongues in natural setting. In our case as Arabs, modern Arabic dialects, not standard Arabic. Here we need to build up corpora concerning children acquiring various dialects of Arabic. What is now available is not enough. We still need more and more. So other pieces of evidence utilized within modern syntactic theory come from corpus. And what is a corpus? A corpus is a large principled collection of naturally occurring examples of language electronically stored and annotated. There are corpora of standard Arabic, like the Quranic Arabic corpus and international corpus of Arabic, but we still need more and more specialized corpora of various modern Arabic dialects, because this is gonna be a very rich observational natural source of data for researchers. It must be given priority and undertaken seriously among people who are interested in Arabic linguistics. Why do we need corpus? Again, this is an example where we have now, it's a study about English. And the use of resumptive pronouns in English. In English, the assumption is that resumptive pronouns, الضمير العائد, are not used interchangeably with gaps. However, we have these examples from a study done by Ponsky in 2013. These are actual examples from corpora and production studies in which now resumptive pronouns are used by native speakers of English themselves. If we study, if we teach such constructions to our students, we ask them to delete the pronoun here. But now researchers of resumption in English, they found that in real life settings, sometimes native speakers of English produce or use resumptive pronouns in these weird for us, weird positions where we expect only gaps to be here. These examples can't be attained from standard English that is taught in the books on grammar, but they do occur in informal spoken English. So they benefit from the spoken varieties of English. And if you can see here, for instance, we have from, what is that? From a Facebook thread, from an email. So they used all the possible sources of data to get a clearer idea about a certain phenomenon that they are concerned with. All these examples from English and Arabic in which syntacticians in modern generative theory used several types of empirical data, positive data, negative data, corpora, from language acquisition, particular child language acquisition, from native speakers to have better observations and descriptions of linguistic phenomena in order to propose more appropriate theoretical explanations, because we know that the more data empirical data we get, the better approach that we can get when it comes to explanation. Now, psycholinguistics and neurolinguistics is another area that is really very important in modern linguistics. Now here, they employ several data collection methods to get real-time elicited data on how language is being processed while participants are exposed to their mother tongues or other languages, depending on the objectives of the study. In the case of investigating one's native language, we can't explore standard Arabic. We must use our modern Arabic dialects because these are again, our native languages. Tasks that involve reading, like eye tracking reading studies, self-paced reading studies, any prime, among others, constitute a serious problem because of the diglossic situation assumed for Arabic countries. The assumption is that when it comes to spoken, when it comes to speech, we use Arabic dialects. When it comes to reading and writing, we use standard Arabic. This is the general assumption. Now, here I need to discuss this problem more explicitly in light of my own experience. As a researcher, to adopt any of these data collection methods using the reading paradigm, it won't be easy at all to get your research paper published without justifying rationally with evidence that the Arabic variety you use is the appropriate one. Particularly if you're targeting processing one's mother tongue. More precisely, if you use, as a researcher, standard Arabic, claiming that this is the language of reading in the Arab world, then targeting native intuition is not appropriate because it's known for the publishers in the West that we are not native speakers of standard Arabic. On the other hand, if you ask your subjects as a researcher, if you ask your subjects to read in their Arabic dialects and you provide them with data from Facebook or from texts from social media, and you ask them to read them, then publishers will say that it is not, you don't read in dialects, you read in standard Arabic. So this is a serious problem. That's why we need to do more research, conduct more research in these areas. And we need to show them that because of the revolution in the use of the social media platforms, people, in fact, we have more and more Arabs now chat using their dialects. We read and write using our dialects in Arabic script, but we not speak only using our dialects, but in fact, we chat all the time on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. We use our dialects to read and write. So we can use, if we target native speakers processing of certain constructions, for instance, then we can, it's legitimate now to ask them to read using vernaculars. And by doing more and more research in within this area, I think we make it clear for publishers in the West that we actually use our vernaculars in speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Another important area in which Arabic dialects have to be given priority is teaching Arabic to non-native speakers. Now, insisting on designing curricula for teaching standard Arabic only to non-native speakers lessens the benefits those learners may gain, because this contradicts actual language use in all Arab countries, where Arabic dialects are used everywhere, while standard Arabic is used only in certain formal settings. Now, in fact, the universities in the West realize this fact. Therefore, they teach standard Arabic for formal functions like doing historical research or studying Arabic heritage, for example, but they also offer integrated programs of study in which one modern Arabic dialect is taught, and students are urged to travel to Arab countries to learn modern Arabic dialects in natural settings. This is another area in which studying modern Arabic dialects is fruitful and make the linguistic systems of these dialects accessible to curriculum designers or curricular designers. And I think our universities in the Arab world may also consider teaching standard Arabic besides a modern Arabic dialect, depending on the country, of course, to non-native speakers to help them benefit the most from learning Arabic. So in conclusion, I believe that studying modern Arabic dialects within modern linguistics has enriched our research repertoire concerning Arabic. Modern standard Arabic has to be considered a dialect besides other modern Arabic dialects. It's not in conflict with them. All these dialects constitute a rich source of data. What determines which language or which language variety is suitable for research is the goals of the research itself. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. RANIA, for this engaging and stimulating talk about why vernaculars matter in modern linguistic theory and the modern scholarship of linguistic analysis. Thank you again for this nice presentation. And actually, you have made a set of nice points about the importance of vernaculars. And I have the same stand about this. And I remember I delivered a talk about why vernaculars matter in modern linguistic theory. Before I ask you questions, because I have a question for you, but I open the floor to our lovely audience if they have any questions or any comments or anything they want to share you with.
You're all welcome.
Thank you.
يعطيك العافية دكتورة.
هلا دكتورة أسيل، تفضل.
Thank you for this interesting talk, and I am with you, of course, in all of the arguments you have presented. I just wanted to comment that in my field, which is semantics, specifically cognitive semantics, studying dialects of Arabic is very, very enriching to cognitive linguistic theory, providing data from different dialects of Arabic and comparing these data with other languages reveals very interesting insights into our cognitive system. So I just wanted to add that not just syntax and language processing, but also semantics. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Ah, yes, it's cognitive, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Asil. Thank you. Do you have
Thank you.
any comment, Dr. Rania, on Dr. Asil's question? Comment?
I agree with her, but I bring in only syntax and the language processing for time limitation because I can't discuss all the domains of linguistics in all theories. But yes, I'm really happy that she shared the same viewpoint as we do in different domains. Yeah. And
Thank
still,
you.
it's cognitive, and it has to do with the understanding. And we still need to explain linguistic phenomena. We don't have any problems with modern dialects. These are our sources, raw material. Yeah.
By the way, not only cognitive, but also formal semantics.
Yeah.
Everything. Much of lambda calculus actually is based on our interpretation of the sentences, the native speakers' intuition about this. We have somebody called Rania Yaqub.
Yes. Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Rania. This is Dr. Rania Yaqub from Kuwait.
أهلا وسهلا.
أهلا فيك دكتورة. الله يسلمك دكتورة.
الله يسعدك.
Actually, thank you very much for your presentation. That was very, very interesting to listen to. And if you don't mind, I have two comments, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
If I am allowed, of course.
Of course, I'm happy to hear you.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yes, you are more than welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. My first question, how would you distinguish, Doctora, between, of course, first of all, I would like to say that I agree 100% on the necessity of studying and analyzing Arabic dialects, lahjatna, from all the linguistics field and all the linguistic aspects. But how would we distinguish between studying al-lahja and analyzing it and giving it that academic emphasis and also preserving standardization amongst us as inverted Arabic speakers, if you want, which has, as you would know, it's a huge benefits on our educational system and our nationalistic feelings, because we cannot distinguish, we cannot separate this if you want, this ideological aspect of the language from what language is, and this feeling of the language and what language is. So our nationalistic feeling and others. In other words, studying al-lahjat is very, very important, as you have stated in your presentation. And it has been done before in our old academic domain, as you have said, successfully and in a very, very realistic manner. But the emphasis was given at that time to standard Arabic or classical Arabic or Quraysh Arabic because of the ideology that lies behind it.
Yeah.
Okay. But how could we do it now, especially with the calls that are existent in our countries, to replace standard Arabic with with our different, very enriching, very rich, very interesting lahjat. اللغة بالآخر, it's what the people are saying and using. هذا شيء مهم. I do understand it. But the balance is very difficult. Now on Wikipedia, we see pages of different Arabic dialects. And I personally, as somebody who's interested in languages, I have this very moral dilemma, whether to be happy of seeing it or to be very, very annoyed and sad, because this is not innocent in a way or another, to my eyes, of course.
Yeah.
Can I ask? You want me to ask my second question, or shall I?
You can do that.
Okay. So my second question is why. Maybe it will elaborate more on my first question. Why can we attribute? Why do you agree with me that we can attribute some of the negative sentiments that we have regarding studying al-lahjat is due to the fact that sometimes there is a suspicion about studying al-lahjat that came from Orientalism in particular. In the 19th century and before it in the 18th century, mainly those who were interested in lahjat and wrote about it a lot were colonialists and Orientalists. And some even you have mentioned that there is an interest in studying lahjat in the Western universities, but their interest is not limited only to teaching a class or two within the study or the department of the Arabic language. The French universities, many French universities, allocated departments to studying one single dialect over another, in the written form, in the spoken form. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've taken a lot of time. Thank you.
No, that's fine. Can I answer?
Please.
Dr. Marwan? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dr. Rania, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as the first question is concerned, again, now, as we all believe that we don't, in modern linguistics, we don't say that this language should replace another language. Yani we can't say that standard Arabic, or sorry, modern Arabic dialects should replace standard Arabic in every single setting in our life for every single function. Let's read, let's write, let's do everything in vernaculars. No, in modern linguistics, we deal with languages as our raw material for analysis. Objectively, we describe a linguistic phenomenon in a language, whether it's a standard Arabic or whether it's our modern dialects, depending on the goals. Again, as I told you, we focus a lot on native speakers to understand how a language is acquired, how it's processed in the brain. This thing in particular, we can do it using or studying how we deal with, as Arabs, with the standard Arabic, because we learn standard Arabic at schools. We learned at schools. Now, yeah. I don't see any conflict. I don't see any conflict. Now we still, now we have all this emotional and sentiments concerning standard Arabic, and we were all proud of it and proud of speaking in a language in which the Holy Quran is revealed. Yes, that's fine. But when it comes to studying and analyzing and understanding language use, language acquisition, we can benefit from all these dialects. There's no conflict I see between standard Arabic and vernaculars. I agree. Yeah, we still have to do our formal functions in standard Arabic, okay? But when it comes to investigating such languages for the sake of understanding and explanation of how native speakers acquire their mother tongue, we can't claim that we are native speakers of standard Arabic. This is not correct, okay? So this is, I don't see any conflict between them. We're proud of our standard Arabic, but I think that all these are they constitute rich source for us as Arabs. We can benefit from them. Just like English, you can see now in syntax or in other field, they bring in evidence and data from the language of in which Shakespeare wrote, from Belfast, from any from all dialects of English. They don't have this. But when they speak in formal setting, they use this standardized language, whether American English or a British English. But in daily life, yes, they use, now we have this toolbox that we need to benefit from it the most. Now, when it comes to teaching Arabic, why do they teach vernaculars regardless of what they have in mind or their agendas or whatever? Now, they teach modern standard Arabic to enable those learners to live in Arab countries, because if they come to our countries and they speak in standard Arabic, now we Arabs will laugh at them at first because they are weird. They don't belong to this community. So
but we love them when they do that.
Yes, but they don't feel comfortable. They need to speak like us. They don't, now when we learn English, we learn certain expressions and we use them in writing, but when it comes to everyday life, we use other expressions because we would like to belong to the community. We don't like to feel strangers. So I don't see any conflict. We're proud of all of as I told you, now we have variations. يعني الجا مش شيء جديد مثلا. Now people who say جا, sometimes we consider what this is not like مثلا pronounce it with الهمزة. يعني اللي بتقول قلب مش بتقول قلب. يعني
للبنات
yeah,
بس
of
مش
course.
للشباب.
Yeah, of course. But still now we have جا in old Arab dialects. يعني في لغة القبائل الأساسية. حتى مثلا في ناس كان يلفظ بير. احنا الآن بنحكي بير بنستحي ما بنقدرش نحكيها, بنحكي بئر بالهمزة. But still and again what's striking and interesting is that even from the يعني some of the القراءات العشر, the authentic recitations of Quran, we have some recitations that value such differences and variation among لغات القبائل العرب. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Rania. Thank you so much for this nice answer, and thank you, Dr. Rania.
Thank you.
Rania and Rania, okay? Confusing.
For these nice two questions. Actually, we need to go ahead. So I see Professor Jad Hamdan raising his hand. So Dr. Jad, if you have any question.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor Rania,
Thank you.
for this very interesting presentation.
Thank you.
In fact, there are so many insights which one can see and develop into different fields of linguistics on the basis of your presentation.
Thank you so
I
much.
just want to start with a general remark. We are lucky we are having this seminar tonight on studying vernaculars and the value, significance of studying vernaculars. Do you know that such a seminar was not possible years ago when I joined the University of Jordan with our big brothers? At the time, a PhD holder with a PhD studying an Arabic language phenomenon would not and was not allowed into the department. Studying, not even standard Arabic, studying dialects, that is impossible. Things have changed. And this seminar is evident, in piece of evidence, evident fact that things have changed in the Arab world and in the field of linguistics. You are giving this speech. Dr. Jarrah moderated this, and we had some similar seminars, and we will continue. Why? Because things have changed. And thanks to our colleagues who went and studied over there in the States, in Britain, or even now in Jordan, and who started to focus on Arabic and to serve Arabic. English language has been served fully.
Yeah.
There's very, very little room for us to contribute to English. This doesn't mean that it is completely closed, but Arabic is still a virgin soil for research, and we have to make use of this. And this was nice tonight to highlight this point. I want to say that if we do not, for instance, show this importance of dialects, one particular field of linguistics would be halted: language acquisition. There will be no language acquisition studies in the Arab world if we do not want to study dialects, because these are the languages that we are exposed to and that we develop over the years. If we say we don't want to study these languages, then there's no linguistic research in this area, and we will lag behind the whole world in a very important field, language acquisition or language development. This is one thing. Another important thing is just think of sometimes very small things, metaphor and dialects. If we want to study metaphor, figurative language in standard Arabic, We will be studying something that has been there in books and that has not developed over the years. We can't see how these metaphors evolve, how they develop, unless we go to our vernaculars, because these are the living elements, the living communication tools which we possess, and of course, we need to study. I'm just thinking of something very, very simple. The demonstratives. Think of demonstratives, for instance. Think of a group of lions. How to refer to these lions? Which demonstrative would we use? هذه أسود. These are lions, these are animals. So these, هذه أسود, هذه أسود. Now just think of a group of men who are brave, just like the resistance groups in Gaza now. And we will refer to them also as أسود. هؤلاء أسود. هذول أسود. هذول. We have هذه, هذول. I mean, this small difference in the demonstrative, same demonstrative in terms of function, but it changes something literal into something figurative. All this is possible to study, and all things like this are possible to study if we continue to focus on dialects. The last point, I think we may disagree a little bit on which variety to teach to non-native speakers. I personally think we need to teach at least two varieties. Modern Standard Arabic, because it's the one that is there to read the Holy Quran, to read shop signs, to read newspapers, and so on and so forth, to pray, to give speeches, and we need another dialect. Mainly, I mean, if we are talking about Bilad al-Sham, Jordanian Arabic will be an excellent candidate. Of course, if we are talking about Northern Africa, it may be the case that Algerian or Tunisian is the candidate. But I think we should have this diagnostic approach to teaching Arabic as a foreign language. But each time we change one member of the pair. Standard Arabic will continue to be there, but we need another member. This member could be determined on the basis of region, necessity, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much indeed. I personally learned from this presentation, and I would like also a chance for me to thank Dr. Jarrah for being with us. He's a specialist in this area, and he has already given us a seminar, which was very important and insightful, and he accepted to be with us today, and he has always been with us, very supportive to our activities and to Abital. Thanking, of course, each and everyone here and giving more room and chances for other colleagues to contribute. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Dr. Jarrah. Thank you, Dr. Jihad. Thank you.
Yes. Also, just like
thank you, Professor Jihad, so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, without your help, actually, such events wouldn't be possible. And your three remarks are significant. So, Professor Rania, you are free to answer Dr. Jihad, to comment on his three remarks.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jihad, for your support and for your work, your figure in Arabic linguistics. In fact, yes, I do agree with him that now we need studying Arabic vernaculars, because now we have rich sources of data that are not still explored. We now, as he said, that Standard Arabic, now if we study metaphors in Standard Arabic, now it's there in the books, but we still need to see what's going on in our life now. Like, for example, the example that he brought in, which is, it's about something that's taking place now. So when we refer to a group of men, like المجاهدين, we say هذول group, even though we refer to them as أسود, but أسود as animals we say هذه. So this one little example which is a very interesting example, that we can't now gain it without studying Arabic vernaculars. And of course, as now he mentioned something important, and I discussed it in my talk, that even universities in the West, they teach standard Arabic beside one or more maybe Arabic, modern Arabic dialects. Standard Arabic is essential because it has its own functions that we need it for informal settings. And we now, to belong to a certain community and be able to live with people, you need a dialect to communicate with them. And this dialect is chosen based on the country that you will travel to as a non-native. So yes, I agree with him. Yes, I totally agree with him. And thank you very much for Dr. Jihad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Rania. There's a colleague who's called Owner, but actually I didn't know his or her name. I sent a message to him. He's raising his hand. Dr. Murtada Baqir. Yeah. Our
Dictori.
Yeah. Professor
You are the
Murtada.
owner. You are the owner, Professor Murtada.
Yes.
Ownership of Habitat is all yours.
So, Professor Murtada, if you are here, if you hear us well, so you are free to say your comment or remark.
Thank you, Dr. Jarrah, and good morning. Good evening.
No problem.
It's morning here. Well, I don't need to say, I think the other colleagues have said enough about your interesting talk. It's just a small question. Now that you have told us about the kind of attitudes that the antagonistic attitude that we encounter when we need to study the dialects, what should we do to overcome that kind of attitude? Probably look next door into talk to the people in the Arabic departments, for example. Excuse me. What is it that you suggest? Ignore this kind of common attitude within the Arab culture about the study of dialects and people. The common attitude, common understanding is that these dialects don't even have a grammar.
Yeah.
They're not worth studying, blah 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 blah. الاستعمار والرجعية والمعرفة والكفر والإلحاد and so on. So, could you enlarge on that if possible? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Murtada. I'm really happy to see you today. Dr. Murtada is my doctor. He taught me syntax. I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of that. That's why
I'm not that old.
In fact, I think we shouldn't ignore them. We have to make our points clear that we are not against a standard Arabic. We appreciate it. We know that it is very important, but we have this rich source of data that we need it. We need it for mainly, let's see, we can start with talking about to understand the acquisition of language. And this can't be possible because we all know that we are taught standard Arabic. We don't learn it from our parents upon birth. So this is something that we can get into, and we can do some collaboration, work together. And I see some of my colleagues that they work with people from the syntacticians from the Arabic department, because they try to they start bringing in the modern standard theory of syntax, try to understand it. They sometimes ask us about the main premises and the main tools of analysis in the syntactic theory, but refusing to talk to them or working with them, in fact, it forces and it enforces also this negative attitude. We need to come to a shared point of research. We need to tell them the importance of understanding the acquisition of language and the processing of language, some of these examples. And again, that we still, the modern dialects have roots in the old Arabic dialects. There are many similarities, and they agree with that. When they do their lexicon ma'jam, they find that we have many terms that they are historically related to terms and words from the past, from classical Arabic. So this is evidence that even though we lost case marking in our talk, there are differences, but now this is natural. This is not in all languages, not only in Arabic now. So I think that we need this collaboration. We need to talk, we need to explain things, and we need to do some there mustn't be this separation from departments of English and departments of Arabic. Now it's through research, shared or joint research, we can maybe bring in ideas and thoughts to very close to each other. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Professor. Thank you, Professor Murtada. You are our professor and our aspiring leaders actually in syntax. Thank you again, Dr. RANIA. Is there any other question from any other colleague, from any other students? I see many students here attending the lecture, so if one of them tries to pose a question to Professor RANIA, we appreciate this so much, because such talks are mainly oriented towards students and general audience. So Professor RANIA, if there's no question, I have a question for you. Okay, Isra Islam, Isam?
Isam.
Yeah, Isra Isam, you are welcome. Go ahead, please, Isra.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rania, for your informative presentation. It was an amazing talk. Because you are an expert in this field, I want to ask you about what are the future studies that you advise us to concentrate on in the future regarding this issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. In fact, every single linguistic domain deserves investigating, and we still, when it comes to Arabic linguistics, we still have a lot to do in every single domain. So when it comes to semantics, syntax, language processing, neurolinguistics, computational linguistics, it depends on what you are interested in, because when you do what you're interested in, you in fact excel. So I think all linguistic domains, when it comes to Arabic linguistics, we still have gaps that we need to fill.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Professor Rani. So I have a question.
Yeah.
So Professor Rani, to the best of your knowledge, to what extent Arabic vernaculars, research on Arabic vernaculars, help us understand standard Arabic?
Yes,
because this is a very strong argument for proponents of standard Arabic, that research on vernaculars is not worthy. But I think we have many pieces of evidence that research on vernaculars itself helped us to understand many things that operate in standard Arabic. So to what extent do you think this is right?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. In fact, Dr. Marwan, the problem is that we have these rules, for example, in standard Arabic. So when we read or write, or sorry, when we write in standard Arabic, we try to stick to the rules. Okay. Now, what is interesting about modern Arabic vernaculars is that we see the development. So it's one language with various versions. One language with various versions. So, for example, in syntax, when we study negation, we propose that based on Arabic data that, for example, the negative head is or a phrase is higher than the tense. Then we have this data from modern Arabic varieties. Now, these are varieties of the language itself. Okay, we have a standard, we have the rules. So people, when they write now, they write according to the rules. But we see the actual development in vernaculars. So we understand, we propose this, for example, in standard Arabic. But if we have, you know, when it comes to syntax, for instance, because again, this is my field, we try to understand this macro differences or macro parameters across the, different languages. But when it comes to varieties of the same language, we understand things better when we consider one linguistic phenomenon in all these varieties, because one variety may give us one image of this whole phenomenon, but we have other images, then the picture becomes clearer.
Okay.
We have all these pieces, like a puzzle. Okay. Now, standard Arabic give us some pieces, but still, to complete the whole puzzle and get the whole picture, we need other pieces from other dialects, because these witness natural changes because they are used. Standard Arabic, when I assume that when we write or write sentences, we try to stick to the rules. But when it comes to actual production, we find these Arabic vernacular, and again, all these are varieties of Arabic. We can't ignore this fact.
Yes. Thank you. You know, because in standard Arabic, we don't have native speakers. So
that's
it is our actually burden to understand vernaculars and try to understand the structure of standard Arabic through vernaculars. By this, we can come actually at middle point where research on vernaculars feeds actually the analysis, the research on standard. Thank you so much. I have a last question by our lovely colleague, Dr. Mark Zragat.
Well, thank you very much. Actually, I wanted to thank you, Dr. Marwan, Dr. Rania, and all those attending this seminar for just creating this positive energy and providing us with such informative pieces of information about something that I myself, I feel just enthusiastic to learn more about. I learned a lot from definitely the seminar. And I should admit that I have also learned a lot from Dr. Jihad's comments on the philosophy of studying dialectology or Arabic dialects. However,
sorry,
about that. While looking at the different slides shared by our colleague, Dr. Rania, on the first slide, she emphasized the fact that linguists emphasize dialects or study dialects in order to decide how far or close a certain dialect is from the standard. In another slide, she mentioned Chomsky, and she read something about the cognitive value of studying dialects. My question is, what are, or just some examples of the cognitive benefits, outcomes of studying or deciding how a certain dialect is far or close to the standard? What is the cognitive benefit of just coming up with that conclusion?
Yeah, Dr. Rani.
Thank you for your question. In fact, I think that there is some sort of misunderstanding. Maybe I misrepresent this point. In fact, in the slide in which I talk about dialectology in the Arab world, I said that they studied dialects from diachronic point of view. They focus mainly on how close or deviant dialect is from al-Fusha. So the center of their study or focus is on al-Fusha. And if they study dialects, they focus on how close or deviant they are from this ideal language. But on the other hand, we have people or linguists in modern linguistics who are studying dialects from different point of view. So in fact, we don't, most of us within modern linguistics, we study dialects as raw material, that this is language data, these are linguistic observations that we need to explain. This is different from a study, the studies that are made or conducted about dialects in the Arab world, in the departments of Arabic, for example, because they focus on, in history, they focus on how close or deviant dialects are from Al-Fusha. So we have two different approaches regarding studying dialects.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Rania. Dr. Malik, do you have any other comments?
And actually, I'm just thank you very much for this clear response. I'm just interested in knowing then more about the cognitive benefits seriously of using this like modern, if you wish, approach of studying dialects by linguists like you. What should we learn about the cognitive processes associated with that? If I'm not wrong in just phrasing this question.
No, it's a great question. Thank you so much. In fact, as I said, and as Dr. Jihad Hamdan said, that without studying Arabic vernaculars, we won't be able to understand and explain language acquisition of Arabic. We can't understand how, what are the processing strategies, for example, that Arabs use when they, for example, construct a certain sentence or certain structure, how they, the processing strategies that they use when they understand or read or hear, for example, opposites in their mother tongues. So these are things that, these are cognitive and things that we can't explain without studying Arabic vernaculars, the vernaculars that, now, because these are what we are native speakers of. And so in general, even if we would like to study, for example, how native speakers of Arabic, how the processing strategies that they use when they learn English. So in general, we need to see what the processing strategies, for example, of that they use when they analyze or understand a certain question. Then we apply and see how they process, or their brains process questions in English, to see whether they use the same language process or different language processes. All these are cognitive issues that we can't address without investigating vernaculars. Yeah, simply because we're native speakers of vernaculars. Simply as simple as this. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Professor Rania. And my last point, actually, on behalf of all of the audience here, our colleagues, our friends come from University of Jordan and beyond, from Yarmouk University, from UAE, and all other students, we would like to thank you. I would like to thank you so much for this talk, which is actually engaging and stimulating for the most part. We have learned a lot actually about this and the importance of vernaculars on, the importance of vernaculars in linguistic theory, and how we should approach linguistic vernaculars and why they matter in modern scholarship. Thank you so much, Dr. Rania, and I would like to thank all of our colleagues, Professor Jihad, Dr. Dina, for your efforts in making this event real, and other colleagues for their nice questions and their attendance. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Marwan. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. Dr. Rania, thank you for your wonderful talk. Dr. Marwan, thank you for joining us and always supporting Apatow and our forum. This talk will be available on YouTube this week. And I'd also like to announce that for the month of Ramadan, we will not be hosting anyone. So we will be back after Ramadan. Particularly, I think the date will be May 4th. I'm going to give the final word to Dr. Jihad. Dr. Jihad, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much indeed. It was a pleasant occasion for us all before Ramadan. Also blessing for us all to have Dr. Rania with us tonight in this very interesting talk, which of course, can lead us to different venues. Just before we close, I was thinking of Dr. Jarrah's question. It's a deep question, really. And if we can work on it, this will help us address those hostile attitudes towards us. I mean, this question that was raised by Professor Bakr, Murtada Bakr. I was thinking of something like we in modern linguistics, we who study vernaculars, we bring all components of linguistics together rather than focus sometimes on something and keep focusing on it without seeing how this relates into other levels and aspects of language. Just thinking of an example which I discussed with my PhD research students last first seminar this semester. Just think of this power inside Arabic vernaculars, no matter what vernacular we are talking about. Think of how the singular and the plural relate together in a totally different way from English and probably from all other languages. And my example was just think of a word like akh, for instance. Akh. I mean, how do you make it plural? I mean, there are different possibilities. You can say adola ikhwa, you can say adola ikhwan, something like this. But what makes it ikhwan? What makes it ukhwa? Is there a reason for this? I mean, this is not just a morphological issue. It's morphology, it's semantics. They conspire together to produce something totally interesting and important. If akh, for instance, is a blood relationship, the likelihood is to be, the plural is to be ikhwa. Yes. If it's not blood relationship, just like we are here, we are brothers, the plural is more likely to be ikhwan rather than an ikhwa. Now, this inspires us to think there is a party in Jordan and across the Arab world called Al-Ikhwan al-Muslimin. Why didn't they call themselves Al-Ikhwa al-Muslimin? They call themselves Al-Ikhwan al-Muslimin. Yeah, yes, there is this relationship which we can focus on. Think of yatim. Yatim is a person without a father or a mother or both. Now, we want to make it plural. Is it aitam? Is it yatama? If it's aitam, it has a general sense. I mean, Jihad Hamdan belongs to this aitam, but I don't belong to yatama. Yatama, it's also a loss of a father or a mother, but it's more than, there is bereavement, there is loss, there is suffering, and so on and so forth. So probably we can find links how through studying, I mean, this is a rich phenomenon in spoken Arabic. Not probably that is so revealing maybe in standard Arabic, but we can show that if we develop such an approach, we go back and discover why we have Asad, Usud, Asad. Is it just a matter of variation, lexical variation, or there is something deep into it and we need to rediscover how morphology and semantics, for instance, relate together? If we can go into this stream, this may help us have not just joint research with our colleagues, but can also make it more plausible for us to convince people that studying vernaculars is useful as a research tool, as a philosophy, as an underlying construction, as a means to an end, and so on and so forth. And that we are not at enmity at all. Standard Arabic is a variety. We respect this variety, but there are also other varieties. And we want to see these varieties examined together in comparison, in contrast, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much. Really, it was interesting. كل عام وأنتم بخير ونحن on the eve of Ramadan. كل عام والأمة بخير أيضا وجامعاتنا بخير والشكر مرة ثانية. All thanks must go to RANIA for accepting our invitation and to Dr. Jarrah for being with us all the time, and this particular seminar of interest to him and to us. To Dina, the leader of this forum, Also, I would like to thank Dr. Dina for her perseverance throughout months and days, looking for speakers, organizing, recording, publishing. This is a great job Dina has been achieving. Thank you all, colleagues, all members of APTAU, all students who are with us, all colleagues, regardless of how they managed to make it, where they managed to make it from, but they are all welcome to APTAU and to this forum. Thank you. وكل مساء ويوم وأنتم بخير.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.